And as we mentioned, we have a GamePoints pool that we do yearly here on the show. It involves Mokan, myself, Stefano Michello helping us out, Mitch Gallo from Melnick in the afternoon, Sean Coleman as well, and the producer slot, which for the most part is filled by Eric Thomas. Last week, Dave Simon subbed in, didn't do so well, kind of mucked up the record a little bit. But again, I will maintain I was 12-4 overall last week, but in this pool, Stefano, last week I was
1-3.
There you go. Isn't that fantastic, huh? All right, what were the other records last week?
Well, Mitch Gallo caught up, going 3-1. I myself was 2-2, as was Mokan and Sean Coleman as well.
All right, so what are the standings right now?
Well, the standings now a three-way tie in first place. We're the definition of mediocrity. First place is all 500.
Oh, brutal.
Myself, you, and Mitch Gallo, 24 and 24.
Okay. What are we, the old AFC West from last year? We're 8-8 winning the division?
Yeah. We're going to be like the NFC West, where losing record will win it.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
And then Mokan actually in second by himself, 22 and 26.
No, don't say second.
All right, fine.
Three-way
Fourth.
Tie. He's in fourth.
No. Do the strength of victories.
Yeah.
We should go strength of victories. I have jumped everybody.
All right. And then go on.
Producer slot in fifth place, 21 and 27, and Sean Coleman, 20 and 28.
All right. Sean Coleman keeping it respectable. All right, I like that.
So it's a 4-game lead from first to last.
Terrible, especially since Coleman missed 2 weeks. All right, let's get to game one.
Game one, we have, the Thursday nighter right off the bat. New Orleans Saints, 3.5-point underdogs at the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow. I got to chew on this a little bit. Saints, 3.5-point dogs in Atlanta. Boy, I'll tell you, I like the comeback the Saints have made this year, but I think it kind of stops right now. That defense had a chance to make a statement in Sunday's game. They couldn't do it. And now I believe the Saints will fall back a little bit. Tampa Bay and others are going to pass them or stay ahead of them in that NFC. Give me the Falcons. And by the way, Mokan, I know you're next. And then it's Georgia's own Eric Thomas.
From Cobb County, Georgia, Eric Thomas.
Fulton, that's the big boss man.
Fulton County. It's all good.
I'm going with the Saints. I know it's a short week preparation here. Saints have had the Falcons number 13-2 since 2006, and they've done very well at the Georgia Dome as well. I know they're coming off a tough loss where they gave up 2 TDs to the Niners on interceptions here. I think Drew Brees does a better job protecting the football. Give him the Saints to win the football game.
All right, Falcon fan Thomas.
Falcons have had this circled on their calendar not only since the beginning of the season, but they circled it again after they lost a couple weeks ago in New Orleans. As much smack as the Saints were talking, the Falcons do not lose at home under Matty Ice. They're going to win this game.
They did to the Packers.
All right.
Very real.
Right.
Are you talking about the Super Bowl champion Packers?
Last 2 years.
Okay.
I'm going with the Saints. I mean, Atlanta, yes, they have been winning, but they've all been very close games, so I think the Saints are going to keep this close. Either Atlanta's going to get a big wake-up call and lose a game, or it's going to be another close game, so I'll go with the Saints in the points.
Okay, and Mitch Gallo, Sean Coleman?
Mitch Gallo has gone with the Saints, while Sean has gone with the Falcons.
Okay, next.
Next, we have a interesting matchup here, interconference. Tampa Bay 6.5-point underdogs at the Denver Broncos.
Boy, that's a great game. Well, Tampa Bay's defense has kind of surprised me, that where they've kind of risen to the occasion and kept their team in it long enough for the offense to prevail. But they're going up against the Denver Broncos team that's had some road games recently, and now they're coming home. They're also a very well-equipped defense. The problem I have with taking Denver in any kind of sizable lead against a decent opponent is the fact that running game is an unknown. Is it good enough to grind out the clock? That's the question I have. That said, I will stick with Denver just because the defense is playing so well right now and they are at home. Tampa Bay's got to be a little deflated off that Falcons loss last week.
Give the Broncos, very tough team to play in Denver. Tampa, of course, tough loss for them last week. For them to travel across country to play in the mile-high air of Denver CO, give them the Broncos to win.
Yeah, I think Peyton Manning is stepping into his own, really getting comfortable as far as that offense is concerned. And you saw what the Falcons were able to do last week against Doug Martin, the phenomenal rookie for Tampa Bay. Held him, and I see that happening with this great Denver defense as well, so give me the Broncos.
By the way, 17-9 was the victory last week in Kansas City for the Broncos. Their kicker, Matt Prater, uncharacteristically missed 2 field goals, so that game could have been even more lopsided for an quote-unquote off game for that Denver offense. All right, Stefano.
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay here to keep it close. You were mentioning how you were concerned about Denver and their running game. Tampa Bay is actually first against the run. They're last against the pass, but they're first against the run. So.
Hello, Peyton Manning. All right. Excellent.
But I'll go with the points here.
Okay.
And meanwhile, Mitch has gone with the Bucks, and Sean has gone with the Broncos.
Okay. Game 3.
Game 3, we have Seattle going cross country to Chicago. They're 4.5-point underdogs at the Bears.
Seattle on the road. I don't touch Seattle on the road. There's just no way that's happening. Jay Cutler, if he's back under center, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears at home. Again, I think they're still embarrassed. A couple weeks later from that 49ers game, I knew they would bounce back against Minnesota. I like the Bears again. Give me Chicago.
Another tricky road trip for the Seahawks. They were in Miami last weekend, and now they travel to Chicago. Very tough schedule of how much travel distance they have to do these next 2 weeks or the next 10 days. Give me the Bears for this football game. As Matt pointed out, Seahawks, terrible road team. You're going to play in the tough climate conditions of Chicago, Illinois at this time of year in early December. I like the Bears right now in this football game because of how well they've played at home this season.
Yeah, it's pretty much echoing you guys' sentiments. Seattle 1-5 on the road, Bears 5-1 at home. I don't see the Seahawks winning on the road against a formidable defense, and Jay Cutler back into the groove after the concussion-like symptoms or the concussion.
And I'm going to go with the Bears as well. I mean, Seattle not good on the road, plus their cornerbacks as well suspended. They're starting cornerbacks, and Russell Wilson not good on the road himself, committing a lot of turnovers. The Bears' defense forces turnovers. Bad recipe there for Seahawks, so I'll go with the Bears. Sean has gone with the Bears as well, and Mitch Gallo, the only one taking a shot with the Seahawks.
All right, so we're all getting a game on Mitch Gallo. All right, next game.
The Monday Nighter, and
here we go.
Will be much better than this week's Monday Nighter.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
The Giants, 2.5-point favorites on the road at the Washington Redskins.
Giants, 2.5-point favorites on the road in D.C. Boy, that Redskin secondary really, really has me picking against them every week. And I hate to take the Giants on the road. That said, though, is that a statement game they had against Green Bay? I think it is. And it's hard to go against that Giants team. Are we going to see that Giants team? For me, the key is seeing Andre Brown touch the ball a little more. Ahmad Bradshaw's been up and down this year, but when it looks to me like that Andre Brown, when he gets the rock, I mean, the yards per carry are great. Give me the Giants here on the road against RG3 in a tough divisional game.
I will agree as well. Giants right now, even though they lost the Skins twice last year, and the Skins gave them a good run for their money this season, on the road, this is a huge game for the Giants because if they win this football game, they essentially will be in the driver's seat to clinch the division, provided Dallas will lose as well on the weekend as they play. So give me the Giants to win this football game, especially if they establish a run game, even though they are banged up at that position. If they get that going for them, that will be huge for them in this Monday Night Football game against the Redskins.
I like the Redskins at home. I like what RG3 was able to do last week on Thanksgiving in Dallas, showing that he is really one of the elite up-and-coming quarterbacks in this league. It's a divisional matchup, so these teams are familiar with each other. I think everybody but Robert Griffin III has game tape on each other. So I like the Redskins at home in a divisional matchup with RG3 at the helm.
All right, Stefano?
Hate to go against the Redskins 2 weeks in a row, especially after they dominated the Cowboys, but I just figure at the end of the season they'll be about 8-8, whereas I figure the Giants would be around 10-6, 11-5. So this is one of those games that's going to drop Washington down, and then that's going to bring the Giants up. So that's why I'm going to go with the Giants, just because I see them being in the playoffs at the end of the year, and I don't see Washington being there.
Okay, Mitch and Sean?
Mitch has gone with the Giants, while Sean has gone with the Redskins.
Okay. It seems like Mitch Gallo and Sean Coleman have the opposite picks every single week.
I think Sean's trying to catch Mitch Gallo.
Ah, okay. All right, fair enough. And that's it, right? Those are the 4 games. Now, it's hard to pick games, and every week we try and get them right. And sometimes you listen to experts, and sometimes you just have a feel on your own, or sometimes you don't get any help at all.
Smooth Jimmy's Lock of the Week.
Ooh, that's a big lock, all right. But I just don't trust that guy.
In the Cincinnati-Miami game, I declare Cincinnati to be my shoe-in of the week.
They both make a good case.
Well, folks, when you're right 52% of the time, you're wrong 48% of the time.
Why didn't you say that before?
Okay, Jimmy, you're off the hook.